My wife ditched me for her male best friend on our anniversary, so she came home to find all her stuff on the street, including our marriage. I married my wife over a year ago, and it was finally time to celebrate our anniversary. I thought that we might rekindle the spark in our relationship and prepared a huge surprise for her. But little did I know, I was about to face the worst type of betrayal. Leading up to the celebration, I kept dropping hints to my wife that I had something big planned. She obviously knew that I was talking about our 1-year anniversary since I cleared both our schedules for the day. I was super excited and told my boss at work that I needed a few days off. However, when I woke up on the day of our anniversary, my wife was gone. I looked everywhere around the house but still couldn't find her, so I started calling her. She didn't pick up my calls and instead left me a message saying she was busy, and she'll call me later. I was shocked. My plan for today was to take my wife to a private resort that was booked in its entirety for us and even had a private beach. To get the full experience, we had to leave as early as possible, so her going somewhere was very unexpected. I was also confused as to why she didn't even acknowledge our anniversary before leaving. Anyway, I left a voicemail wishing her a happy anniversary, and began waiting for her to call me back. Over 2 hours later, my phone finally rang. Before I could say anything, my wife told me that she was at her best friend's house and he needed her help, so she was going to be busy today. Her best friend was a guy whom she had known for years, but he always made me feel uneasy. I can clearly see the way he looked at my wife, and it wasn't how someone looks at a friend. But despite my many arguments, my wife never believed me and kept hanging out with him. Still, to think that she would ditch me on our special day to go and spend time with him, I was understandably furious. I clearly told her that I wasn't okay with this, and that she needed to come home right away. To my absolute shock, she said she knew this would be my reaction, which is why she left before I woke up. Then she proceeded to say that she isn't coming home until tomorrow, and I just needed to come to terms with it. My best friend needs my help, which is more important than some stupid anniversary. That's the last thing she said before hanging up the phone, and all my calls after that went straight to voicemail. I couldn't believe this was actually happening. I had planned a really special surprise for my wife, but she would rather spend time with another man, and she even called it a stupid anniversary after I put in so much effort. It sucked, but I didn't know what kind of emergency this guy was in, so I decided to wait and see. A few hours later, I noticed that my wife's best friend had posted a photo on Instagram. It was a selfie of him chilling on the couch, and my wife was kissing his cheek. The caption of the post said, "Soulmates spending their special day together." I was horrified. I was over here alone, lamenting the fact that I just lost thousands of dollars on the private resort, and my wife was over there kissing another man. Was this the emergency that he needed help with? And it was so important that my wife bailed on our anniversary? The comments under their post asking if her husband was okay with this were rubbing salt in the wound. A whole year of marriage went down the drain, just like that. She didn't even bother hiding her lies anymore. I somehow managed to not break down crying, and instead channeled everything into my anger. The built-up tension over the years when my wife did something similar all came down crashing at the same time. I was so enraged that I just wanted revenge. I didn't want any explanation that she would give me, I just wanted her to experience some of my pain. So the first thing I did was change all the locks on our house. Then I called my dad, and told him that I was going to divorce my wife. You see, all my assets were in my dad's name, including the house and all my investments. That's why I wasn't scared to go nuclear with the divorce. After I told my dad, I began calling my lawyer and immediately started drawing up the papers. There was nothing anyone could say to change my mind. I also called a moving company that packed up all my wife's belongings and left them in front of the house for her to pick up. My lawyer suggested that I take screenshots of the post and our texts, as well as send him the recording of our call where she told me she had gone to her best friend's house. This would end up helping a lot in the long run. Anyway, it's late at night and I'm going to sleep. Hopefully my wife gets the shock of her life when she returns tomorrow and sees that I've locked her out of the house. Update: I am delighted to inform you that my revenge was successful. My wife returned around noon, and when she saw her stuff lying on the floor, she crashed out. She started banging on the door, demanding to be let in. I gently opened up a window and told her to calm down. Then I told her to hold this for a second as I handed her an envelope. As soon as she did that, I closed the window and yelled, "You've been served with the divorce papers. Any further communication needs to go through my lawyer." Her face dropped like she just got a heart attack. She instantly went through the 5 stages of grief and started saying, "You're divorcing me? Why on earth would you do that? Is it because I left you alone on our anniversary? Oh my God. Stop being so dramatic. I told you there's a good explanation for that." After a certain point, I just put on headphones and listened to music because I knew my front door camera would record everything she says. She even admitted that she did indeed sleep with her male best friend a couple times when I made her angry. I think she was trying to piss me off, so that I would open the door and attack her, but she just gave me a ton more evidence for the divorce. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated. Update 2, the divorce is over, and things turned out even better than I thought. When I kicked my wife out, she asked her male best friend for help. He let her stay in his house and even accompanied her to all the court meetings. However, his facade of actually caring about my wife quickly faded. Both him and my wife were shocked to find out that I own no real assets except my 401k, which only had a few $1,000s in it. This basically meant that my wife was walking away after the divorce with nothing but the stuff I had left for her on the street. She broke down crying and tried to hug her best friend, but even I was surprised when he pushed her away. He yelled at her, "How can you be so dumb to not confirm that his money was eligible to be split in the divorce?" He said a lot more unsavory things, but I'll get to the bottom line. Basically, he was only messing with my wife because he thought she would inherit a large sum of money when she divorced me, and he would get to use that money whenever he wanted. Now that she was a single, poor woman with sense to her name, he had no more use for her. My wife's expression when she realized she had been used made my heart ache, but I was way past feeling sorry for her. I guess she really got what she deserved. I had already told her parents about the cheating, and they didn't want anything to do with her. She lost her loving husband who would have done anything for her, as well as her high-class life. Meanwhile, I'm on a vacation in Bali with my new girlfriend, and I don't regret anything.